When the mayor said that the city wasn't going to be able to make payroll, did you watch me? I was about to tip over. But he is a visionary leader, there's no doubt about it. We are very lucky to have him in the city. No doubt about that. Anyhow, I'll get back to what I was talking about. Crime is down, he said it. Although I'm sure you have experienced some issues, and I'm going to be here to help you sort of deal with that as a whole. Sometimes what I find when I read a lot of crime reports in my job. All the police officers that go out in the field, they take that report. We call that a preliminary crime report. That gets digitized, and I look at that every Monday I come in. There's a queue of reports. I go through those and read those. I look at Part 1 crimes, burglary, robbery, ADW, aggravated assault, those kind of things. On special victims cases, rape, child molestation, those kind of things I look at. There's very few of those. But I look at all of those. I read them, and I look at how things are happening, where they're happening. And as you might imagine, we take those cases and look at where they're occurring, the time of day, the day of night, who's involved, the suspect description, the victim description. Is there any series or pattern that we can identify, and we direct resources to that? There is a method to our madness. I know some people think very often we drive around in circles and answer radio calls. We do that. We don't so much drive in circles, and there is a science to it. We do try to, we are a data-driven organization, and the fact is that we try to do the resources we have, we try to do the most we can with that, and part of that is using technology to our advantage, and we get almost real-time crime information. So when a police officer, they do take notes, but everything is digitized. And the advantage of that is, there was a time when I first started in police work, and I've been doing this, I'm going to date myself here. It'll be 29 years in February I've been a police officer. I took a crime report with a notepad, and then I pulled a crime report out of my posse box, which is a folder. It's a fancy metal folder that protects all my paperwork. Pulled it out, put it on top, and I sat in my police car, and I wrote the report. And then when I was done, I had to meet a sergeant somewhere in the field, and he, mostly he, sometimes she, it's a lot of she's now, not so much when I first started, but mostly he met me in the field, signed off on the report in a pencil. We all wrote reports by pencil, took it back to the police station, turned it in at records, and then a records clerk would sit down at a terminal. And it was an old IBM terminal, and he or she would sit in and enter the information. They would transpose the information that was on the crime report. But all they took from the crime report was what was filled in on the face page of the report. The narrative, as we call it, which is the details of the crime, that was just photocopied and put into the report, and very little information was captured. Now, maybe about 30% of the information in that crime report was captured and kept on file, and then cross-referenced. Very little of it was cross-referenced. But now every single thing, the officer takes his or her notepad, they sit in their radio car, and they enter into a computer. And that goes digitally back to the mainframe at the police station, goes into our Versaterm report writing and case management system, and then everybody has access to that needs to have access to it, right, in the chain of command. And the officers write that, and they send it in to the sergeant to approve, and then it's approved, and it goes to records. That all happens digitally, and everything is captured. Well, what's happened when we started capturing all this data was we found that there was commonalities. There were the same suspects involved. They were using the same phone numbers. We saw a lot of addresses where not only were crimes were taking place, but people that were committing these crimes were coming from. So we had a lot more data than we ever had before. So what we found is when we took all that, we cross-referenced it, we could tailor our enforcement or our patrol activities to deal with the problems we were having. And that's a smarter way to do police work. And just responding on a radio call, look, we have to respond on radio calls. When you call 911 and say, I need you here now, we go. But we would rather prevent crimes than respond to crimes. I hope we all feel the same way. We're trying to prevent crimes in Inglewood, not trying to respond to them. Because there's a lot of agencies, and they're all good, they all mean well, but they do a lot of responding to crimes instead of a lot of preventing it. We're trying to prevent them here. The only way you want people to live here and enjoy living here is if we prevent crime and not react and respond to crimes.